Hey guys, welcome back. This is Ashley and Toutou, and this is our third segment of our wedding planning insights and advice. And so we wanted to cover our third topic, which is the comparison between a do-it-yourself wedding versus a full wedding planning services. What is the right decision for you? What's the right things to consider when you're looking at both options? And so we want to make sure that you are aware of some of the things to think about as you are going through the process. All right, Ashley, I think you had actually gone through this process yourself. You were looking at doing a do-it-yourself type of wedding.
Yes.
And then obviously you ended up with full wedding services.
Yes.
So yeah, talk us a little bit through about what your thought process is and what you experienced, things that you've learned through that as you went through that process.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that anyone really knows this part of the story, but we actually won a ceremony in Hawaii. So we eloped, and we still wanted to come back and have a celebration with all of our friends and family. So initially we were like, well, why don't we just have something in our house? We have a big, beautiful house.
Naturally,
we just cleared about 2 acres of land. We were like, oh, we'll just set up a tent. It'll be super fun. And then the more I started to think about it, I was like, how are 100 people going to park on this dirt road that we have here? And how are they going to walk in heels down the driveway and and into the back hill, which is probably, it might be like muddy or whatever, dress in nice clothes and everything like that. And then I thought about, what was I going to serve food on? Paper plates, silverware, glassware. I didn't want to have like solo cups at my wedding.
Right.
It would be different if you were having a barbecue,
Right.
But we really wanted to have like a nicer reception. So the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't think we can do this at our house.
Yeah.
So after we thought about, where are 100 people going to go to the bathroom? I don't think our septic is going to handle this, and people trucking in and out of the house and all of that. So
What about like having, have it be brought in for the bathrooms? There could be some porta potties, and there's some nice porta potties as another option. Did you?
To be honest, I just didn't want to have to deal with all of that. I don't, just think about when you have like a Christmas party at your house and, you are the hostess and you're saying hello to everyone, you're greeting everyone, you're putting out food, you're taking care of everything. You're not enjoying your day. And, for a wedding, I wanted to be able to enjoy my guests. So most of you know that I had my reception here, and I cannot imagine if I had ended up having it at my house. Because my family's from New York, 4.5 hours away, and I was able to just relax, enjoy everything. Everything was here, everything was set up, and we really got to enjoy like the company of our guests, which to me is priceless. So
Right, because that's a very short hours, 6-7 hours at the most that you're going to see with your family and friends.
And I didn't worry about anything.
Now, tell me a bit about the cost. Was there like a cost difference between a do-it-yourself versus full wedding?
I would say that the cost, it might be a little bit cheaper to do a DIY wedding, but the amount of stress and the time, to me, time is money. So the amount of time you're going to spend planning and putting everything together, it just wasn't worth it for me.
Right. So it's really like the stress level of, doing a lot of the logistics of planning everything. Little things that you mentioned, like having to think about, like how are you going to get rid of the trash, for 100 people, and the dishes and plates and rentals of that, and logistics of everybody coming at the right time, and who's going to put out the buffet or putting that out, or if the food is cold or hot enough to make sure that nobody gets sick. You actually want to talk to your town about permits to assembly, noise, about if you have to have a certain noise level, and then at what time it needs to get shut down. It also just makes sure that sometimes they require that you have insurance, having liability insurance, also making sure that not along with the rights to assemble, but some require so many bathrooms per person. So if there's 25 to 1 bathroom, they might require you to put in those, a porta potty or something outside. So that's something that you definitely should also consider. So there's a lot more planning. And even with a wedding planner, you want the wedding planner to be focused on you and not always those little things too. So there's probably a lot of moving parts. And like you said, it really stresses on the level of stress that you really want to have that day versus really enjoying the day of your friends, because that's very important. How much time did you think you started, investing in it? Did you do?
So we actually found out that we won the contest and then had to use it within the year. So we really only had 6 months to plan. And that is a pretty short window when you are, looking to book vendors and everything like that. And I know when we came here, there was only 2 days left. By the time we got home and called back, we had taken the last day. So it was a really short window for us, to be planning
Right.
for a DIY and even for a full service.
Yeah, and another big one too is just, I think you had touched on it, which is the weather. Is something where if your house and if you're going to have it someplace at a campground, making sure that there's enough shelter for everybody, for your guests. And I think do-it-yourself is a great idea. That is, for those who are budget conscious and those who want to kind of really spend the time to invest into planning their wedding. It's a great idea. It might be maybe more suitable for smaller weddings, less than 50, because it's something that you can really take care of. But if it's more than that, it might be worthwhile to also look into a full-service wedding planning venue.
Yes, I agree 100%.
All right. Well, I'm glad you made the decision to come.
Me too. I would be here right now. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience. So that pretty much wraps up our third session of our wedding planning services. Advice and insights. If you'd like this segment, please put up an emoji, just make a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, or if you have any questions to follow up, let us know. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions following up with you. All right, see you guys later. Take care. Happy wedding planning.